Formula One is a glamorous sport even on its quietest days. The commotion, the color, and the cash add up to four-wheeled theater. It's a high-octane narrative that's engrossing, frequently surprising, and is never dull. Even if the races can be, many memorable moments in Formula One have left a lasting impression on spectators and the F1 world as a whole. Stay tuned to find out some of the most dumbest moments in F1 history, and from some of the best drivers' careers. Vittorio Brambilla. Over the years, many Formula One drivers have been labeled as accident-prone. Some were simply at the wrong place at the wrong time, while others caused the majority of their own issues. Vittorio Brambilla, dubbed the Monza Gorilla for his violent manner, was a good friend of the barriers. He debuted in Formula One in 1974 and rapidly established a reputation as a tough, uncompromising racer who frequently pushed the car to its limits. Brambilla was obviously swift while he stayed on the road. In an unfancied March, he started on pole for the 1975 Swedish Grand Prix, and a few rounds later he won his first and only F1 race, the 1975 Austrian Grand Prix. Few people remember that day though because of Brambilla's mastery of the dreadful surroundings at the Ulsterring. Instead, it was that race that established his reputation for being prone to accidents. Brambilla celebrated by waving his hands in the air as he crossed the finish line to win the rain-shortened race. He lost control, went into the barriers further down the straight, and finished the race in a car that was significantly damaged. Although the video of the incident isn't particularly good, it is the best available at the top of the page. Brambilla continued to race until 1980, but he never again made the podium. He did, however, have a couple more wrecks. He was often dubbed one of the most accident-prone, dumb drivers as he was very reckless, which is something that is very dangerous to be in the Formula One world for very obvious reasons. Daniel Ricciardo. For the 2021 and 2022 seasons, Daniel Ricciardo, the current Renault F1 driver, will replace Carlos Sainz Jr. at McLaren. The Australian recalls his favorite moments from his Formula One career. He began his Formula One career as a Toro Rosso test driver. Daniel Ricciardo made his F1 debut with the HRT team at the 2011 British Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo, a Renault Formula One racer, has used the coronavirus period to reflect on his most important races in the sport. Ricciardo took to Twitter last year to reminisce on a few of his title races that made him grimace. Bahrain 2012 and Baku 2019 are two of Daniel Ricciardo's most humiliating races. After a bad start in Bahrain, the Australian driver was relegated to 11th place after turn 1. Ricciardo was then involved in a collision with one of the Caterhams, forcing him to pit for a new front wing, dropping him to 15th place. Ricciardo took to Twitter to explain how he felt about the events. Bahrain was excruciating. Saturday was fantastic. In a Toro Rosso, he qualified 6th. Everyone was discussing what I'd done. Then 24 hours later, I was completely mauled. At the time, I knew I had the speed, but did I have the correct mindset to race at the front, get my elbows out, and think I belonged there? I suppose we found out, didn't we? During the 2019 season at Baku, the Renault driver collided with Daniil Kvyat. For a driver like Daniel Ricciardo, it appeared to be a rookie error. I felt like such an idiot. I screwed up. We'd been teammates for a season and a bit. I apologized straight away. I felt pretty small after that one. We have more dumb moments from drivers such as Max Verstappen, Pastor Maldonado, and Taki Anui coming up right now, so don't go anywhere. Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen has revealed what he considers to be his most embarrassing incident in Formula One thus far. After his maiden season with Toro Rosso in 2015, Verstappen was promoted to Red Bull Racing not long after the start of the 2016 season. The unfortunate situation occurred near the close of the 2016 season at the US Grand Prix for the Dutchman. He was coming off 2 second-place results in a row as he entered the event. Verstappen's race in Austin was going well, and he was in contention for another podium finish, until he chose to enter the pits ignoring his team's instructions. I was driving. I was like P5 maybe. I was going quite well. I was closing on the guys in 3rd and 4th. My engineer, he would say, push now, push now. Back then, that normally meant that lap you were pitting, but I knew that I had to speed up. So he said that I was doing my lap in Austin, and at the last corner, I went in all good, and then I drove to the pit entry and into the corner. and I realized he never called me in. He continued, "He didn't tell me to pit. He never said it." I was like, oh my god, what did I just do? I'm in the pit lane. I'm like, guys, I'm pitting, I'm in the pits. Suddenly you see all the guys running out. They were taking random tires. The pit stop was like 8 or 9 seconds, but still considering what I did, it was a very fast pit stop. Verstappen would shortly quit from the race due to a gearbox issue and revealed that his antics had frustrated Dr. Helmut Marko. "I didn't say anything after the pit stop since it didn't make any sense to fight," he explained. "So I kept going. But after 3 laps, something went wrong and my car had to retire." He continued explaining what went down after the race and how he was feeling. After the race, when we discussed it, Helmut was irritated with me, but I was thinking, yeah, I screwed up. I assumed you summoned me. Pastor Maldonado. In these lists, having a representative from the current grid is always a plus, and there's just one man who fits the bill. Pastor Maldonado is a gifted driver who has a habit of turning off his brain far too often, leading to many dumb moves and incidents that probably could have easily been avoided. In 2005, he had his first public outburst of craziness. Maldonado hit a marshal on the track during a Formula Renault 3.5 race in Monaco after failing to slow down enough at the site of an accident. He was barred from racing for 4 years and from driving in the Principality for the rest of his life. However, it was later claimed that Maldonado's wealthy father was able to have the latter prohibition overturned by covering the marshal's medical expenses. His F1 career hasn't gone well. He was fortunate to only receive a 5-place grid penalty for sideswiping Lewis Hamilton during qualifying at Spa in 2011. It was a calculated maneuver, and he could have easily been thrown out of the tournament. He just had 1 point at the end of the year. In 2012, though, he took to a new level. He crashed out of the first race on the final lap, and after winning the Spanish Grand Prix with brilliance, he was involved in another incident in which he intentionally impacted another car. Sergio Perez was the victim this time, and the purposeful nature of the crash was even more apparent than it had been in Spa the year before. The video can be found above. He got away with a slap on the wrist yet again, and proceeded to collide with Pedro de la Rosa at the first corner. It was the beginning of a stunning string of dreadful driving. He crashed in qualifying in Canada. In the European Grand Prix in Valencia, he collided with Lewis Hamilton and finished 3rd. He assaulted Perez in the United Kingdom, accidentally this time. He hit debris from another driver's accident at the German Grand Prix. Then he collided with Paul di Resta in Hungary. You can see he has a long track record of messing up and doing dumb moves that have led to multiple car crashes. Maldonado is definitely not known for his amazing driving skills. That is for sure. Taki Inoue. Finally, the last F1 driver on our list is Taki Inoue. In early 2013, users of the Autosport site were debating who the worst F1 driver of recent years was, and the discussion was joined by an unexpected Twitter participant. Taki Inoue was the guy who made other paid drivers appear like champions, but not because of the accidents he caused, and there were many of those. Rather, Inoue is remembered for the way official track cars seemed to be pulled on him relentlessly. The automobile Inoue was driving was flipped, and the Japanese driver was lucky to survive. He had a concussion and his helmet was damaged, but he was otherwise unharmed. Although there is no video of the crash online, you can see the aftermath here. After 4 races and 2 self-inflicted retirements, Inoue retired with an engine failure during the Hungarian Grand Prix. The ambulance arrived to see if everyone was okay. Inoue failed to notice it and ran in front of it, being run over by the ambulance. He was fortunate in that he only sustained minor injuries. You can imagine how scary this was to watch play out from the stands. And there you have it, everything you need to know surrounding some of the dumbest moments from professional Formula 1 drivers' careers. Which one surprised you the most? Did we miss any out? Let us know. But if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.